Assalamu alaikum students of grade 7. It's online lecture 25 and I'm hoping you guys are working hard for your online exams and doing great and also helping in household as well. So girls and guys, it's your subject social studies and we're studying geography portion and history portion is done for the first term syllabus. Great. So topic today we are gonna talk on earthquake, its causes and effects, and dated. It's 11th of July 2020 and it's sweet Saturday. And girls and guys, I hope you guys are staying safe and sound at your home and not going outside because it's summer. And I want you all to stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. So girls and guys, in the last lecture we talked about the movements of the plates, the faults and its types, right? Let me tell you, in the last lecture we talked about the plates tectonics, right? And I told you about the movements of the plates tectonics. So first was the divergent movement, second was the conversion movement, and then was the slide movement or the transform movement. So in the first movement, that was the divergent movement. I told you that in this kind of movement the two plates move against each other, right? One is moving, for example, in the right direction and the other plate would be moving in the left direction. Okay, so they are moving against each other, where in the second movement, that is the conversion movement, the two plates move towards each other and they get in contact with each other, then their edges get folded with each other, and as a result of which the mountain ranges were formed. And this last movement was the slide movement, and in this movement the two plates slide past each other. Clear? Okay. So girls and guys, let's talk about earthquake. So earthquake is any sudden shaking of the ground resulting from a sudden release of energy in the Earth's lithosphere. I am hoping that you guys are aware of the earthquakes. What happened when earthquakes occur? It's just like the moving and shaking of the earth's surface or the ground, right? So some people think earthquakes occur because of the wrath of God and when he is not being pleased with humans. Earthquakes occur then. Let's see what science says. So earthquakes are usually caused when rocks underground suddenly break along a fault. And I told you what the fault is all about. So this sudden release of energy causes the seismic waves that make the ground shake. And most earthquakes occur when two sides of a fault slide past each other. The crush may either be being compressed, pulled apart, or moving sideways. Remember, in the last lecture I told you about the plate tectonics, where I told you about the divergent movement, convergent movement, and this transform movement, right? So this is all about that. They are talking about the movements of the plate tectonics over here, like the crust may either be being compressed, pulled apart, moving sideways, or the combination of these. The resulting seismic waves are felt as earthquakes. Now let me tell you what the seismic waves are. So seismic waves are elastic waves in the earth produced by an earthquake or other means. So seismic waves move through and around the earth. Clear? Okay. So sometimes an earthquake has four shocks. These are smaller earthquakes that happen in the same place as the larger earthquake that follows. You guys witness this thing when earthquakes happen. Our elders used to say that maybe there are the chances of the aftershocks. So the aftershocks are the smaller earthquakes right, that happen in the same place as the larger earthquake occur. So scientists can't tell that an earthquake is a foreshock until the larger earthquake happens. The largest main earthquake is called the main shock. Main shocks always have aftershocks that follow. These are smaller earthquakes that occur afterwards in the same place as the main shock. Depending on the size of the main shock, aftershocks can continue for weeks, months, and even years of the main shock. I give you a real life example. A few months before, when earthquake occurred, I witnessed aftershocks. I witnessed the larger earthquake, then I witnessed the aftershocks. So girls and guys, let's talk about the causes of earthquakes. Along with tsunamis and volcanic eruptions, earthquakes are among the most destructive types of natural disasters. They occur when rocky material deep underground shifts suddenly, causing the ground above and nearby to shake violently. They bring a lot of destructions and loss of many innocent lives. The worst earthquake on record, which occurred in China back in 1556, is believed to have killed 830,000 people. The deadliest earthquake in the United States was the San Francisco earthquake of 1906, and which killed about 3,000 and left half the city homeless. It was disastrous. So let's see how earthquakes are caused by plate tectonics, volcanic eruptions, and atomic explosions. So earthquakes caused by tectonic plates. The Earth's crust or lithosphere comprises many plates that slide over a lubricating asthenosphere layer. At the boundaries between these huge plates of rock and soil, the plates sometimes move apart and magma or molten rock comes to the surface, where it's called lava. I told you, lava just comes out of the earth's surface, which resulted into the lava or the volcanic eruption. So it cools and forms new parts of the crust. The line where this happens is called a divergent plate boundary. I gave you the example of divergent plate in the last lecture, where I also have shown you a picture where you witnessed how the volcanic eruptions happened via divergent plate boundary, right? Good. So the plates can also push against each other. Sometimes one of the plates will sink underneath the other into the hot layer of magma beneath it and partially melt. Other times, the edges of two plates will push against each other and rise upward, forming mountains. I told you, in the last lecture as well, where we were studying about the plate tectonics. So, at the region between two plates which slide past each other, called a transform boundary, as I told you before, energy builds up in the rocks. A fault line, a break in the earth's crust where blocks of crust are moving in different directions, will form, and then earthquakes happen along transform boundary fault lines. So this is how earthquakes may occur caused by plate tectonics. Now the question is, how can volcanic eruptions lead to earthquakes? So guys, volcanic eruptions are caused when magma forces out of an opening in the earth crust and becomes lava on coming out of the opening of the volcano. When magma forces out of the hole, then it causes a relative motion of the earth tectonic plates or lithospheric plates. If this movement is caused in a vigorous manner, then it creates a tension force within the tectonic plates. And after this tension force is released, it leads to earthquake. So this is how earthquakes occur due to the volcanic eruption. So let's talk about some effects of earthquake. The effects of an earthquake are terrible and devastating. Many buildings, hospitals, schools, pipelines, railways, roads, highways are destroyed due to it. A lot of people get killed and injured. Many people lose their money and property. It affects the mental health and emotional health of people as well. And the environmental effects of it are surface faulting, tectonic uplift, tsunamis, flooding, soil liquefaction, ground resonance, landslides, and ground failure. So that's all about today's lecture. Today we talked about earthquake and its causes and effects. So girls and guys, here is a question. Write a note on causes and effects of an earthquake for your assignment. And I'm hoping you guys are gonna do this question even the best of all, as you guys are doing great job in your other assignments as well. So take great care of yourself, study hard, stay hydrated. Allah Hafiz.